अस्सलाम वालेकुम। बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। रब्बि इश्रह ली सदरी व यस्सिर ली अमरी वाहलुल उक़दतम मिन लिसानी यफ़क़हू क़ौली। रब्बि ज़िदनी इल्मा। Now, children, how is everyone? Hope that you all have understood the scenario-based question that we discussed. That was of specimen paper 2A. Yes? Okay, now today, as per our promise, we are here to learn the scenario-based question, specimen paper 2B. Before we proceed to the actual question, a repetition of you need to know how can you score very easily in this 15-mark question. The very first thing is you need to analyze that your answer should be following these things. For example, that your assessment objective 2, here you need to know that you need to apply the knowledge and understanding of the principles and concepts of computer science to a given context, including the analysis and design of computational thinking or programming problems. And for that, what you need to see, what you need to know, very important is that you should be concentrating on, you are going to find out that whether your program is using any selection situation, your program needs any iteration. So if it's iteration, which loop structure is supposed to be used, whether your program is dealing with any counting concept or totaling concept, and definitely inputs and outputs. So if you have identified in your question, in your scenario, all these things, selection needed, yes, just write down before you start solving. Iteration, which loop structure is supposed to be used? Similarly, is your question dealing with any counting scenario? Is it dealing with any totaling or average? Similarly, which inputs are needed and what are the outputs? So if you have identified all these things, then definitely you can score 9 out of 9 for assessment objective 2. Besides this, any use of variables or arrays or other language dependent structures that you are using, first thing is they should be used appropriately. They should be given meaningful names and you should be declaring them appropriately. The right data type should be used. And again, you can easily score if you have paid attention to these all details. Any questions regarding assessment objective 2? You have identified the selection statement if needed. You have identified the loop if needed. You've identified that whether there's any counting or totaling to be done, and definitely which inputs are needed and what are the outputs required. So if you have done it accurately before you start solving, then definitely you are able to score 9. Okay, understood? Any questions? Okay, now let's move on to the next assessment objective. This is our assessment objective 3. Here, you are supposed to provide solutions to problems by evaluating computer systems, by making reasoned judgments, and presenting conclusions. And again, you can easily score 6 out of 6 if you have identified the things appropriately. And what are the things? The program has been fully commented. Definitely, wherever comments are needed, you have written the right comments in the right position. Suitable identifiers with names meaningful to the purpose have been used throughout. Now, all the data structures have meaningful names. Again, very important thing, all the data structures that you are using should have meaningful names, means arrays, variables, constants, everything that you are using should have meaningful names. The program is in a logical order. Again, very important thing, what should you be doing? Logical order again is playing a very important role. Besides this, your program is accurate. It's performing all the tasks required in the logical order, and once the program is executed, it will actually give you the right results. And you can see the solution logically performs all the tasks given in the scenario. Ignore minor syntax errors. That is what is the instruction for the examiners, because they are giving you a little leverage, but I highly appreciate if you all are able to ignore all the syntax mistakes in your program. Your program or your pseudocode should be free of any sort of errors. Okay, I highly appreciate it. And for that, we need practice. The solution meets all the requirements. This is very, very important that whatever the other requirements are, you have identified the requirements before you start solving, and definitely you will be able to get your answer. Okay? Mean that if you have followed these things, then 6 out of 6 are definitely going to be in your case. Got it? 6 out of 6. This is going to be your target to score 6 out of 6. Understood? Your program should be fully documented. You are going to use meaningful names for your data structures. Your program is following a logical order. Your solution is accurate. And all the requirements mentioned are clearly met. Yes, are we clear about assessment objectives 2 and 3, which we need to refer to, which we need to keep in mind before we start solving the question? Maybe move ahead? Okay, that's wonderful. Now let's move on to the actual question. This is the question. The names of patients are stored in the 1D array, that is patient, of type string. A separate 2D array readings stores the latest data recorded about each patient. The array already contains the readings taken by a nurse for each patient. Now be very, very attentive about the instructions, what they are asking the students to be attentive about, and then you are going to follow your work, fine? Now, very first thing is, you can see that we have already got a 1D array by the name patient, as is mentioned here. The 2D array readings, and this has 2 readings, as you can see. This is the 2D array, and this is holding, first column is holding the temperatures, and the second column is holding the pulse rate, as you can see. Now, the data is already stored about the patients, and you don't have to definitely take input in this scenario, in this question. Right now, they are only concerned about you talking about to handle a certain situation. Let's see what that situation is. Any questions till now? A 1D array of by the name patient to hold the names of the patients, and another array is going to hold the readings, the temperature readings, and the pulse rate readings for each patient. Now, let's move on to temperature. Temperature is measured to 1 decimal place, and pulse rate is a whole number. This is what is given to you, that pulse rate is a whole number, and it's going to be till 1 decimal place. Now, this is what I already have understood. Temperature readings should be in the range 31.6 to 37.2 inclusive. Now, this is for your reference mentioned here, that you can see for yourself. You can underline this, that you can know, or you can write it down on one area, that these are the readings for temperature. And then pulse readings are in the range 55.0 to 100.0. As you can see, it was a whole number. That's why it is written. No decimal value is here. And you can see it's a whole value. It's a whole number. And again, the word inclusive. Be very, very attentive about this word, that your answer is accurate. 55.0 to 100.0, inclusive. Any questions? Temperature readings, they are mentioned here, and pulse readings are also mentioned here. Now, may I move ahead? May I proceed? Okay. The hospital number is given to a patient. The hospital number given to the patient is used for the index on both arrays. Now, this is your index, and this index is a value between 1 and 1000 inclusive. I can see, just for the purpose of making you comprehend, I've written it like this. The patient's values are from 1 to 1000 inclusive. Now, let's move on to the actual requirement. When the data for the patient is checked, a warning is given if any of the readings are out of range. If both readings are out of range, then a severe warning is given. Now see, we are checking the temperature and the pulse. Now option one, definitely if it strikes your mind that maybe inshallah, both of the readings are accurate, are within the range. Temperature is also within the range and pulse is also within the range. Situation one. Situation two is any one is out of the range. Situation like maybe the pulse is out of the range, or situation three can be temperature readings are out of range. And situation four, God forbid, is both the readings are not in the range. So this is what is the question dealing with. When the data for a patient is checked, a warning is given if any of the readings are out of range. If both readings are out of range, then a severe warning is given. Definitely that's a severe situation. Write a procedure. Now, this is what is our major concern, a procedure. Don't get worried. We are here to learn. We are here to revise. A procedure, I hope that you will remember. By the way, procedure and the other one is function. Excellent. Ali, can we recall the difference between the two? Procedure does not return a value and functions return a value. So right now they're expecting the students to know how to write down the procedure using pseudocode or program code. Now, please remember, if any student is well versed with programming language, then he is allowed to write down a program also using Python or Java or VB.NET. But if you're not good at it, then I suggest you that please stick to writing pseudocode accurately so that you are definitely able to score marks. Here you have been given the option of use pseudocode, or you can write down program code, right? Now, what are the requirements? Takes the hospital number as a parameter. Now, this is the first requirement. Your procedure should take the hospital number as a parameter. Okay? Now, checks if the number is valid. What is the valid value? That's excellent, Ahmed. It's basically the value will be valid if it's between 1 and 1000 inclusive. That's accurate. Thank you very much. So definitely we are going to check in the beginning, before we proceed to check the readings, that is the hospital number which is passed as a parameter a valid number or not. If not, then definitely we won't proceed. But in case if it's valid, then what we do? If it's invalid, what will we do? Output an error message and exits the procedure if the number is not valid. Definitely, there is no need to proceed. On the contrary, if the hospital number is valid, now this is your requirement that we need to meet. This is what we need to pay attention to. And this is the situation that we have met, that in case if the number is not valid, then output a message for the user and exit if the hospital number is invalid, right? Hospital number invalid, exit by giving an appropriate message. Again, a prompt, a proper message for the user. In case the hospital number is valid, then output the patient's name. First thing is output the patient's name. Output normal readings if both readings are within range. Now try to analyze. Reading 1 is for temperature and reading 2 is for pulse. If they both are correct, it means it's normal. Just have a message for the user. Output warning and the name of the reading, for example, pulse, if one reading is out of range. Now, this is your situation 2. Temperature is correct and pulse is incorrect. And situation 3 is temperature is not correct while pulse is correct. And situation number 4 is they both are not in range. So this is what we need to work on, that we first of all have to, in case the hospital number is a valid number, then we are going to check the readings. The readings, situation 1, both are in the range. Fine, perfect. Display a message, done work. Output warning, in case the reading for temperature is not there, is not correct, or the reading for pulse is not correct. Situation 2, reading for temperature is correct, but pulse is not out of range. Or situation 3 is temperature is out of range and pulse is in the range. And situation 4 is the severe situation where both the readings are out of range. And definitely once we are done, we are going to exit the procedure. Now see, it's so simple. There are only expecting me to find out and work on displaying a message. But the thing is, this all is supposed to be done in a procedure which is getting the hospital number. I mean, you can just, for the sake, since they have not mentioned anything, they have not mentioned the name of the procedure, so it's up to us that what the name of the procedure is going to be. Now, before we proceed to the actual thing, let's analyze how will I start my work. First thing is I need to use a procedure. Is the procedure name given? No, as such not. What are given is the patient array is given, so I cannot change the name. Readings array is given, I cannot change the name. And all other are up to me, so I can use any as per my choice. And like the program is as per my choice. But I need to know how to use a procedure. The procedure is getting the parameter of hospital number, which is an integer value. From where have I determined that this is the value between 1 and 1000 inclusive? Hospital number. This is the value that is supposed to be passed on as a parameter, and this will be checked about the validity, valid or not. So definitely we're going to start from here. By the way, do I have a loop here? Just recall what we have talked about. Selection. Do I have selection here? Yes, that's wonderful, Ali. Since there is a option that is to be checked, like 4 situations are there, then definitely I can handle it with definitely a condition checking statement. If you're okay with if, I suggest you that carry on with if. That's perfectly okay. Is there any iteration needed? That's wonderful, excellent, Emma. Definitely there is no need of iteration. It's simply dealing with getting the hospital number as a parameter and then finding out the respective hospital number values from the readings and the patient. Definitely they all are supposed to be equal. For example, if it's patient number 3, then patient number 3's readings will be considered. With patient number 100, then definitely patient number 100's readings will be considered. So that makes, I guess, complete sense, isn't it? Okay. Now, is there any input needed here? Okay, up to now, what we have figured out, there is no input needed, but output is definitely needed because we have to output several messages, normal readings or abnormal readings, the warning with the message, proper message, and definitely the severe readings, the severe warning. So this is how we have identified the question requirements, and now we are going to solve. You must use pseudocode or program code and add comments to explain how your code works. See, here they have given you the hint themselves that you have to use definitely pseudocode or program code, and you have to add comments. Okay, a very basic requirement of a good program, of a good pseudocode. You do not need to initialize the data in the arrays. So see here, they have given you the hint that there is no need to initialize the data in the arrays. The data is already stored, and you only have to check the values that are already stored there. Any questions before we proceed to the actual thing? None? Okay, that's excellent. Now let's move on to the next. Just for the sake of you to understand, requirement 1, procedure that takes the hospital number as a parameter. Has the student used the procedure in the right way? Has he used the parameters properly? Yes. Has he met the requirement, first requirement? Fine, perfect. Check if hospital number is valid. Has the student checked the value by using any selection statement? And definitely here you need to mention the use of the 1D array, that is patient. Check temperature reading. Again, you can see the readings are going to be for pulse and temperature. So here again, I have to go for selection. And for that, I will be using the 2D array. Check the pulse readings, check the temperature readings. These are requirements 3 and 4. And output appropriate messages for each selection, output with appropriate message. Now, this is very, very, very important thing. So if we have met all the 5 requirements as required in the question, then definitely you are able to score. And you have followed the logical order, that your program is accurate, then definitely you are going to score. See, so simple. Data structures. The names underlined must be used as given in the scenario. You cannot change the patient array. You cannot change the readings array. It has to be taken the way it is in the given question. So be very, very cautious about the arrays or lists or whichever variable they have mentioned in the question. So please do not change them. Do not do anything else with them. It has to be used exactly in the same manner. For example, if it is readings, then please take readings. Do not write reading. Be very, very cautious. Just the basic thing is caution. And I'm reiterating, again, a suggestion. You have to finish your beginning questions within 1 hour and then reserve 30 minutes to understand and answer the scenario-based question. This is a suggestion given by the examiners, by the paper setters, and this is the same coming from our end too. All the teachers are recommending the same thing, but please do not spend more than 30 minutes for this scenario-based question and do not move to it in the beginning. Just in haste, you can find out what is coming here. No, not at all. Finish the first questions, maybe if it's 10 questions and scenario is the 11th question, or if it's 12 questions in the beginning and 13th one is the scenario-based questions, please just pay attention to all the beginning questions. And once you are done with all those questions, then only move on to the scenario-based one in the end, okay? Along with that, some constants, and I'll talk about these constants a little late. In the beginning, just for the sake of simplicity, I have solved this scenario-based question in two ways. The first one is without the constants, just to make you comprehend the basic concept, and second one is with constants, okay? The same question explained in two ways so that you all can comprehend and know how to score. See, now the procedure is by the name checkpoint, as you can see. Now let's start this by solving this question. We have the procedure by the name. What is the name of the procedure that we have taken? Yes, it is basically the name of the procedure is checkpoint, as you can see, and this is getting a parameter hospital number, which is integer. Now this is the beginning and I'm ending it with end procedure. Fine. Now, what is the first thing that I'm checking? If hospital number is greater than or equals to 1 and hospital number less than or equal to 1000, the first requirement was to check the hospital number is valid or not. So this one is done in the beginning, that we are just checking that if the hospital number is within the range greater than or equal to 1 and hospital number less than or equal to 1000, then output name of patient, as was the first requirement, comma, patient is the name of the array, brackets, the same as we have learned. And within the brackets, you will mention the hospital number. See, this hospital number is used here, this hospital number is used here, and this hospital number is used here. So be cautious that the same number will be used throughout. Hospital number is coming here, hospital number is here, hospital number is here, and hospital number is here. Fine. So we are simply going for the output of the patient's name, which is taken from the hospital number, and we are done with this first thing. Understood? Now, you can see the proper use of the what? Comments with double slash. Yes, do not forget to put the double slash whenever you are starting the comments. So the first comment was check for valid hospital number, and now we are checking the readings. First option, check if all of the readings are normal. Now, what are the normal values? 31.6 to 37.2 inclusive for temperature. So what are we going to see is, you can see for yourself that first value is temperature, and this is present in your column 1, and pulse is present in column 2. So at the moment, what we have written here is if readings, which is the name of the array, a 2D array, its hospital number, assume that the first value that was passed on was maybe 2. So it means I will check the second row's first column, means the temperature. What am I, just interpret this. What does it mean? If readings array, which is a 2D array, its hospital number, which is second location, second row, comma 1 means second row, first column, means the readings of the temperature is greater than or equal to 31.6 and readings hospital number comma 1 is less than or equal to 37.2. Means what am I checking actually is the readings array, its hospital number is the location that is indicating the row. So it's, for example, assume that the entry that was sent to this procedure was 2. Hospital number was 2. So it means 2 comma 1 is going to be the temperature readings which are checked. That is the temperature in between 31.6 to 37.2. It's the same as you have been doing till now, but the only change is here we have to refer to the array. So no worries, we have learned it this way. So just remember, since hospital number is the value that is coming as a parameter, so here it is written in the brackets, in the like square brackets. Hospital number the same way, comma 1 means first location, first value, for first column is compared, that is it between 31.6 and 37.2 inclusive, and readings for pulse. Now this pulse is present in column number 2. So you can see and readings the same array, hospital number the same, assuming that it was 2 comma 2. Now since I'm referring to column number 2, that's why 2 comma 2 is greater than or equal to 55.0 and readings hospital number comma 2 is less than or equal to 100.0. Then output normal readings. So just pay attention to the same value as we have been doing till now. The only change is the use of a 2D array, so do not get confused. And you can simply mention it here and you will be able to get the whole things done properly. Any issues? Okay, now I'll explain one more example with one more example early, no worries at all. If it's creating a little confusion, let's have it resolved right now, okay? So then you will inshallah be able to solve any question that comes in the exam regarding procedures or anything like that. Do not get confused at all, fine, no worries at all. Let me take one more example and then I'll talk about another thing, right? Assume that I am talking about that maybe this is the last. Assume that that was 1000th patient. The value that was passed on was hospital number was 1000. Checking of the hospital number valid. Perfect. It was valid. That's why it entered by outputting a message. I hope that this is not a problem. Now, the readings is the array name, 2D array. Hospital number is now holding 1000. And now I'm checking the readings that are present in temperature column. So since this is the reading for 1000 hospital number, so what happened here is readings 1000 comma 1 is greater than or equal to 31.6 and readings 1000 comma 1 is less than or equal to 37.2. Means it is in between. And readings hospital number comma 2. Now this means 1000 comma 2 means this is your pulse rate is being checked. And pulse rate is 55.0 to 100 inclusive. That's why you have checked is greater than or equal to 55.0 and readings hospital number comma 2 is less than or equal to 100.0. Then output normal readings. Are you clear with this? Is it now a little better now? Okay, that's wonderful. See, we have just handled with one if. Situation number 1, that the readings are within the range. Okay? Okay, now let's move on to situation number 2. If the pulse is out of range. Now, so you can see an appropriate heading is given, a comment is given for us also and the examiner also, for us to remember that what have we covered, what have we checked, and for the examiner to give us marks, definitely, because this is what they expect the students to write. If, now you can see, readings is the array name, hospital number, comma 1. Now we are talking about the pulse is out of range. So what are we doing is, if readings, the array name, hospital number, comma 1 means 1000, comma 1, is greater than or equal to 31.6 and readings hospital number means 1000, 1 is less than or equal to 37.2 means this is indicating within range. That this and indicates the within range. But since the value for readings of pulse may be out of order, may not be in the range. So you can see for yourself that the use of readings and now the use of and readings, the array name, hospital number is 1000, 2 is less than 55, or readings array, hospital number means 100, 2 is above 100. Maybe situation 1 is the value is lower. The value is actually below this. Like you can see for yourself that this is your lesser than value or it can be above. So now situation number 2 is the readings for temperature are within the range, but the readings for pulse are outside the range. So how can we handle this abnormal value? Again, so simple. We are just going to handle the use of the same learning as we have done for the abnormal values, that we'll say if the readings are less than 55 or the reading is above 100. Definitely here it is not possible. Definitely, Ali, thank you very much. Definitely it doesn't make any sense at all to have the and here. See, how is it possible? Think of a number that is meeting the criteria that it is less than 55 as well as above 100. Yes, that's accurate. We have been doing this as a practice. So that is what you know, that here the use of or is the most appropriate one. Fine. I think now we are okay with this. Then output warning, pulse readings are not normal. Again, we are just following the instructions of the examiner because they wanted us to follow the same, that output warning pulse readings are not normal. And now we are done with this also. Any questions? Any problem regarding understanding of this one here? First, we checked the valid one, the normal readings. Second is pulse out of range. And be very cautious about the use of and or. See, within the range, and then this thing, and then we are checking that whether it is, this one is below the normal reading or it is above the norm, this extreme value, then we have to go for a warning message for the pulse. Understood? Okay, that's wonderful. Let's move on to situation number 3. This is situation number 2 handled, and now we are moving on to situation number 3. If the temperature is out of range. So here you can see if readings, assuming the same hospital number is 1000, 1 means the first column is temperature, is less than 31.6, or readings, hospital number means it is 1000, 1 is above 37.2. See, again, abnormal will be, which is before 31.6, or it is above 37.2. So that is why we are going to use the word or here. I hope that that is making a clear sense to all of us. No one is confused at all that why this or is here. Yes, or is to be used here. We are not going to use and, because the checking of temperature is out of range. Definitely it is either situation 1, 31.6 below, or situation 2, 37.2 above. And readings of hospital number, 2 means the pulse. Pulse is correct. So we are going to use pulse 55.0 and readings hospital number, 2. Please do not get overwhelmed because of this reason. It's so simple. You pay attention with the help of this example that we have taken, maybe 1000, 2, indicating the pulse value. So just do it this way, the same way as I have tried to show you, that on the paper, just make a small array thing for your own self, make a small working for your own self so that you are okay that how the work is to be done. So we have handled this, and readings, the array name, hospital number, 2 is less than 100.0, is less than or equal to 100.0, means within the range for pulse, but above or below the range for temperature. Then output warning, temperature readings are not normal. And we are done with our situation number 3. Situation 1 normal, situation 2 pulse abnormal, situation 3 are temperature abnormal. So if you have understood this, then So easy to handle, both out of range. See, any questions till now? Okay, that's wonderful. If now fourth situation, both readings are out of range. If readings hospital number, comma 1 means the first, the first column is maybe 1000, comma 1 is less than 31.6. Oh, now please be attentive of the use of or. Readings, the array name, hospital number, comma 1 is above 37.2. See, inclusive above 37.2 or it's below 31.6. And you can see here, and the use of and readings, hospital number, comma 2 means array of readings, 1000, comma 2 means the second column is less than 55.0, or again the use of or here, readings, which is the array name, that is 1000, comma 2 is above 1000, is above 100. Then output severe warning, pulse and temperature are not normal. So now end if, and here you can see this is the end of my this if. Understood? We have checked for the validity of the hospital number. We have checked for, and we have proceeded with the value because the values are normal. If the values are normal, if the pulse is out of range, if the temperature is out of range, or God forbid, if both readings are out of range. Now, assume that the hospital number entered was not a valid number. Then we were asked to display a message for the user indicating it's an invalid number. So you can see this else will be connected with the first if. If it's not meeting the criteria, then definitely we'll move to this else. And a message will be there for the user, output hospital number is not valid. And we are going to end or exit by using end if. Any questions? See, so simple. Since you have done your working, that's why it has become simple, isn't it? We have made the array. We have actually written the requirements. We have written that what are the data structures that are needed. And now we are through with our work. Checking for all the conditions, we can move back and forth, and then we can even tick in on our question paper the requirements. Whichever we have done, I'll take it. So that I will also know that this is what I have covered. Okay, any questions? That's wonderful, excellent. Now let's move on to the next one, and that is the same questions solved a little bit differently, and it's just the use of constants. Are we ready? Are we ready for that? Yes, I hope that we know that constants and variables are definitely forming a very important integral part of our question paper. So we need to work on them now. No, don't get overwhelmed. It's the same. The same array. Okay, now just don't get confused. And definitely, Ali, thanks for raising this question. These two can say methods are only, these two can say results are only there for you to comprehend that one student can write in this in with the first one, that's perfectly okay. And second student who is very good at programming, he has practiced a lot, so definitely he wants to score full marks, 15 out of 15. So he'll make use of constants also. So with practice, inshallah, all of us will be through, and we all will be able to know which things are going to be used there. So here it's the same question, which is as per our promise, solve with the help of constants also, so that you can understand that this is also this solution is also perfectly okay, and you will definitely be able to score full marks in this question now. Okay, now again refer to the same. What we have is we have two constants that are going to deal with our what? With our temperature. You can see these are the two constant values for temperature. So the only change is declaration of variables and constants here. Constants are declared here. Constant temp high equals to 37.2. Again, meaningful names. It's not A, B, C, X, Y, Z, etc. We are using proper names to indicate their nature. Looking at these variables or constants, I can know what are they here for. I can see constant temp high equals to 37.2. This is 37.2. which is my high temperature. Constant, temp low, which is 31.6, that is mentioned here. So in this manner, I've handled the two constants for my temperature. And similarly, we are handling the constant pulse high, which is 100.0, and constant pulse low equals to 35.0. So in this manner, if I have utilized the constants, if I declare the constants in this manner to be used throughout my whole pseudocode, then that will be definitely going to have an edge over others who are not doing it. But still, please be relaxed. With practice, you will definitely be able to do it. Inshallah, the other question that we are going to do in future, we are going to try our level best to concentrate on the use of constants so that you are confident in your answers, okay? Just be relaxed. Inshallah, we all will be able to do it, okay? Now, no worries at all. Now, it's the same procedure. Check patient, hospital number integer, the same parameter, which is integer or in nature, the same checking for validity of the hospital number. If hospital number is greater than or equal to 1 and hospital number less than or equal to 1000, then output name of patient, comma patient, hospital number. This is the same. So simple, isn't it? The only change here is check if all readings are normal. What we did earlier, if readings, hospital number, comma 1 is greater than or equal to, what did we do earlier? We worked on 31.6. No worries. What are we doing is we are simply replacing this 31.6 with our constant that we have used here. See, so simple, isn't it? We are simply replacing the values, that's all. We are, instead of using the constant value, the way when the value that we had used in the first, I can say, version of the question, we are simply replacing it with the constants temp low and temp high. Any questions? Okay, if you practice it in this manner, you will definitely be able to do it. And I suggest you that you can do now 2A also with the same concept of constants. So that will benefit you a lot, okay? Okay, definitely I'll do it with you also. But this is how you can solve it, fine. Readings, hospital number, comma 1 is greater than or equal to temp low, which means it will replace this temp low with the value that is mentioned here, 31.6. And readings, hospital number, comma 1 is less than or equal to temp high, which means it is 37.2. And readings, hospital number, assuming it was 1000, comma 2, now it's pulse, is greater than or equals to pulse low. Now you can see here, we are now referring to pulse low, which is here, which is 55.0. And readings, hospital number, comma 2, means again the same pulse, is less than or equal to pulse high, means it will be 100.0. Again the same, but now with the use of constants. Isn't it easy? Yes, it is. And then you will actually understand the use of constants is very much beneficial for us in programming also. Any repetition needed? What we have done is we simply have used constants. We have written the declared the constants in the beginning. Constant temp high, constant temp low, constant pulse high, constant pulse low, and appropriately. And now we are just using them. Greater than or equal to, instead of writing 31.6, we are saying temp low. Instead of saying less than or equal to 37.2, we are saying less than or equal to temp high. Similarly, rather than using 55.0, we are saying pulse low. Rather than using pulse 100.0, we are using pulse high. Isn't it? Fine. That's great. Now, if you have understood this, then other options, other if conditions will be just a piece of cake. The first one is we are checking after we are done with the checking of the normal values, we are now going with the pulse out of range. Now here you can see what are we doing is we are just checking that the pulse is out of range. If readings hospital number, comma 1 is greater than or equal to temp low, and readings hospital number, comma 1 is less than or equal to temp high, and readings hospital number, comma 2 is less than pulse low, the same, is less than 55.0. Or readings hospital number comma 2 is greater than pulse high, then output warning, pulse readings are not normal. So the only change here is we have used pulse low here and pulse high instead of, and similarly temp low and temp high instead of using the values themselves, because we have used the constants in the beginning. Any issues? Easy? That's great. I'm really very happy. Moving on to the third situation. Check if temperature is out of range. The same thing, as you can see, we are checking the temperature out of range by, again, you can see the use of or. Again, less than temp low, or readings, hospital number, comma 1 is greater than temp high, and readings, hospital number, comma 2 is greater than or equal to pulse low, and readings, hospital number, comma 2 is less than or equal to pulse high. Again, you can see the use of pulse low, pulse high, temp low. Be very cautious before you proceed to the actual thing, the use of the right operators, the use of the right constants, the use of the right array locations, and you are through. Just a little bit of caution is needed from the beginning till the end of writing down the code, writing down the pseudocode. Isn't it a piece of cake now? That's wonderful. I'm really, very happy. Then output warning, temperature readings are not normal, and end if. Any questions? Now, after that, we are going to check the conditions, both the readings are out of range. Again, if readings, the array name, hospital number, comma 1 means first column readings, which are temperature, less than temp low, or again, you can see the use of constant here, fine. Or, very important thing is the use of or here. Readings, hospital number, comma 1 is greater than temp high, and readings, hospital number, comma 2 is less than pulse low, or readings, hospital number, comma 2 is greater than pulse high. Definitely, all the readings, either the temperature is below the normal or above the normal, or above the extreme value. Similarly, the pulse value, the pulse is either below 55.0 or the pulse is above 100.0. See, this is an or. It's not possible to have an and here in this situation. But the use of and here is compulsory. Please be cautious. Just try to understand that it is meeting both of the conditions. That's why the use of and is supposed to be present here. Fine. This is very, very important for you to remember your own learning, which we have been practicing in pseudocode writing. Okay? Else, now this else will be in case the hospital number is an invalid number. So definitely a message will be there, hospital number not valid, end if, and end procedure. So we started our procedure from here, check patient, and we have ended the procedure here by the name end procedure. And we have scored 15 out of 15, isn't it? Isn't it great? Any questions? Okay, that's wonderful. Jazakallah khairan kasira for being a part of the learning journey. Hope that you have understood this completely well. If you have liked the videos, please subscribe, like and subscribe the channel. Do not forget to share with your friends and family so that they all are going to benefit from it. And please do not forget to click on the bell icon so that you are going to get the latest updates as soon as any video is uploaded. And be a part of the community, Facebook community as well. Allah Hafiz.